This is the Snapmaker U1 3D printer, and I kind of wish I hadn't bought it. And yeah, this is one of those it's so good that now I want to replace everything else kind of statements.
Oh no, he didn't. Yes, Laverne, he did.
You've probably seen all the ads over the last few months about this printer coming out on Kickstarter, and yeah, it's set all sorts of sales records and stuff. And as exciting as my Bambu H2D with dual nozzles is, along with a few IDEX machines I have, well, when a 4-head tool changer came out under $1,000, I kind of felt like I had to get it. But in this video, I just wanted to show you how it works, how it stacks up against my Bambu printers, and whether you should maybe consider the Snapmaker U1 as your next multicolor 3D printer. Getting into the unboxing and setup, well, it had unbelievably nice packaging, and all of that together made setup and putting it together and everything go together in just under an hour, and was fairly easy to do, at least after I got the manual out from down inside the box. Now, speaking of the manual, it looks awesome. One of the better manuals I've seen. But the instructions on everything, it was all inside the packaging, including how to unbox, like I said. And it's kind of like hiding the treasure map inside the treasure chest. On my first use, it's incredible to see that it comes with 4 half spools, and that was really nice. My first print, well, it was built into the setup and calibration, and it's not a benchy, no. But it is a cool looking 4-color dragon, and it took about 3 hours to print, almost no waste. There were just a few bits here and there and a prime tower. So for a first run, I was actually pretty impressed, that being a 4-color print. The slicer is Snapmaker Orca Slicer, and online a lot of people are calling it Snorka, Snapmaker Orca. But my question is, why do you have to have your own version? Now, I do understand logging in and all of that type of stuff, but why not just let us use plain Orca Slicer, or at least have the option? I have seen online that some people are using Orca Slicer, but when I tried it, it just gave me a few failed prints and some problems, so I'm just going to stick to the Snorka version for now. Now, getting into the app, super simple design, and fortunately, it gives you just the info you need. A lot of online comments say that it's not always going to notify you with errors, and I have seen that a few times, and I'm on Android. But there are built-in video tutorials, and there's guides, and these are going to help you with setup and with any small problems. There are some small bugs, like time lapses aren't showing up in there, and that's not a big deal. You can always export to USB. The biggest thing is no ads. Please don't change this. I absolutely hate the Creality app and a few others I have. It's just too much. And by the way, if you like this kind of real-world 3D printer content and it's helping you out, please hit subscribe so you don't miss any other videos, and maybe share this one with a friend who's considering a multicolor printer. Thanks. Just in the week or so that I've had the U1, I've been pretty impressed, especially with how little filament is getting wasted. Now, I did run a number of comparisons against the Bambu H2D with its 2 nozzles, and thought I'd throw in the Bambu A1, just, you know, for whatever. And I kept all the settings the same for all the printers, and I'll tell you now, I got some interesting and slightly weird data.
He's being very cryptic.
First, let's start with 3 colors and look at these articulated foxes. Of course, the A1 comes in last with the longest time and the most filament used, but the H2D, well, it takes over 14.5 hours, and then the U1, only 10.5 hours. With the H2D, you're going to see that it uses right at 201 grams of filament, while the U1 is using 140 grams of filament. So the model filament, if you look at that, it's pretty identical between the H2D and the U1. The big difference here is waste. And by the way, don't look at that price. The Snapmaker Orca came set to $60 a spool. Yeah, I fixed that one.
Well, they think I'm a rich TV star.
Next up is a 4-color meshy flying squirrel. And yeah, there's the A1. So moving on with that, we see that the U1 is going to beat the H2D by an hour. But the interesting thing for me is that the filament use was only different by about 12 grams. Now, I'm guessing that since there's just one color, main color, brown, and that was used for most of the print, I think that's what made this one pretty close. So then I had to try a 4-color model that used at least 2 main colors for most of it. But what's weird here is the A1 actually used less filament than the H2D. But anyway, the H2D won on time, so that's good. And regardless, let's look at the U1 time. It's half the H2D time and 40 grams less filament. But the U1 also has 27 less filament changes, so that's 27 less layers. Now, I have noticed this on a few models. The U1 seems to weirdly have less layers for the same prints. And I don't know if this is a slicer issue or settings that somehow got changed, but seriously, if you understand what might be going on here with the layer count and the tool changes and all that, please drop it in the comments because this one has had me scratching my head. I also wanted to see how a 2-color print would stack up, and this is interesting. The A1 obviously loses again, but the H2D and the U1 are weirdly similar in all ways. The H2D actually wins on filament with 2 colors, just barely, but you'll notice that the H2D setup time is 6.5 minutes compared to the U1, 19 seconds. Now, that setup time for the H2D, that's going to be all the priming and pooping and everything, but the U1, it just hits the prime tower and starts printing. Now, this isn't a major difference. I just thought it was interesting for 2 colors, and you know, the H2D has the 2 nozzles, so good comparison. Overall, the U1, for the most part, it's faster and has less waste, and I was done with comparisons when it hit me. What about just printing one model? Now, we all know you're going to waste a lot of time and a lot of filament just printing one at a time, right? And once again, we see the A1 is slower than the H2D by at least an hour, but again, it has less filament. Anyway, here's where we see the U1 is absolutely killing it. The H2D used 52 grams of filament. The U1 only used 19. And the U1 was a full 2 hours faster. Now that's 1/3 of the time of the H2D to print the same model. Well, I obviously had to know more. So on the U1, I put another turtle. So now 2 turtles. It just added 30 minutes and 10 grams. I put another one for 3 turtles. Adds 30 minutes and 10 grams. I made it 4 turtles. That added 30, well, you get the picture.
And so on, and so on, and so on.
With all the other color printers, you're going to see some pretty massive savings the more you print at the same time. But with the U1, well, as you can see, you already have those savings built in from the start. As I said in the introduction, the Snapmaker U1, it's not perfect. Also, it's brand new. It just came out. Would I recommend it for somebody totally new to 3D printing? Probably not, at least not now. In a few months with some firmware updates and fixes, well, that'll most likely be a different story. Would I buy another one right now though? Absolutely. I've already started weeding out some of my older printers and, well, this kind of has me thinking about some of my newer ones as well. I'm also looking forward to trying some of the more awesome things that I've seen. You know, we all know about using PETG for supports on a PLA print and vice versa. Multi-tool heads are perfect for doing that. And if you haven't seen it, There's a fork off of the Snorka slicer that lets you use 4 colors to create 8 or more colors by laying down really thin layers. It's kind of like HueForge, I think. And in just the week or so that I've had the U1, I've seen a couple of other companies announcing their own version of very similar tool changers for very similar prices. This is going to get good. Competition always helps us out in our home 3D print labs. So let's keep printing, whether you have one extruder or many, and continue to learn, create, and amaze.